Om Vasudevasutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, and bestower of immortality. Srimad Bhagavad Gita in chapter 2. Chapter is known as Sankhya Yoga, the yoga that is integral. And verse number is 68. The topic is Sthita Prajna Lakshana, characteristics of one who has attained enlightenment. The more you have clear grasp of the ideal that you have to realize, the goal that you have to reach, the greater the clarity of that understanding, greater is the effectiveness of your sadhana. Think of yourself going in a trip in your car, but you don't really know where you have to really go. And you are led by some texting messages. Go this way, go that way. But when you have a clear knowledge of the goal, movement becomes much more secure. From ancient times, all those people who went out for travel, first thing their eyes were focused on the pole star. Where is the pole star? Once you know it is there, not confused with other stars, your movement becomes more precise and effective, successful. Keeping that in view, without going any further, 68th verse, we have already given various characteristics, and some of them will be repeated again. Tasmad yasya mahabhavo nigrihitani sarvashah indriyani indriyartebhya tasya prajna pratisthita. Therefore, O mighty armed Arjuna, that these were the compliments for great heroes. Your arms are mighty. And every soul is involved in a battle. A battlefield like the field of Mahabharata, where forces of light are one side, forces of darkness on the other. And soul within you, like Arjuna. Arjuna is constantly described as a mighty armed hero, implying the soul has that special valor that wakes up under the guidance of Lord Krishna. And he is eventually led to attain victory. I just gave you an idea of the mighty armed. You shouldn't be tender armed or weak armed or fractured armed. Learn the art of getting a lot of calcium and make your arms strong. Next characteristic of heroism, one whose senses are completely restrained from the sense objects. Restraint has to be understood. All your experiences are based upon sense objects. The world you see, the heavens, the sky with stars, the sun and moon, down on the earth, all the variations, right within your home, all your experiences of being with swajans, relatives, friends, loved ones, all your experiences are based on senses. And you have only 5 senses. So if one of the 5 is not operating, then the world you are experiencing is only, that means 1/5 of the world you are not experiencing. If 2 senses are gone, then 2/5 of the world has gone out of your experience. Anything beyond 2 senses being out is pure calamity. All that I'm implying, to understand the world like little like in a mathematical way. You have the 5 ingredients creating your sense of experiencing the world. Those 5, hearing, seeing, touching, tasting, smelling, these are the 5 sense perceptions. Restraint implies that the sense perceptions should not define what you are. They should not impact upon you in such a way that if your sense perceptions become negative, you feel as if you lost your existence. Certain point I'm leading you to understand is the difference between being and becoming. Being, you are always what you are at the deepest level. The sun is always there as the sun. But the same sun, when it reflects, reflected suns undergo changes. If in a bucket the reflected sun is able to have a bigger bucket, the reflected sun feels much better. If it is able to have clearer water, there is more enrichment for the reflected sun. The reflected sun is becoming and wants to become better, led by negative mind, even worse, but it wants to always become. As a soul, you are always becoming. And senses allow you to follow that process. From a very advanced point of view, becomings don't become you. All the becomings of the sun doesn't become the sun. Follow the English. Sun doesn't need anything to add to its glory. Sun looks at the earth, beautiful rainbows, wondrous colors, shining phenomena. And sun is not tempted to say, come, let me be decked by you, ornamented by you, let me become better than what I am. That will be extremely ridiculous. All those things have radiated from the sun. Sun doesn't need them. That's from the very advanced point of view. But in day-to-day life, this subtle point has to be digested, assimilated, that you do not change or become better in your innate state because of experiences through the senses, through your emotions, through your thinking, thoughts, emotions, perceptions. All these do not change the self. They serve the purpose of covering the self, obscuring the self, if they are negative. If they are restrained and controlled and purified, they serve the purpose of allowing the soul to be revealed. So deep down, that understanding that you are not dependent upon experiences based on senses, that must go on becoming profound within your heart. And that is possible when your intellect continues to undergo a process of purification. Purification of a very advanced stage. Intellect becomes intuitional. Your reasoning process turns into intuitive process. Then it's called prajna. As prajna advances, you find yourself unaffected by sense perceptions. Since the entire world experience is based on sense perceptions, you are unaffected by the world. No matter whatever may go on with this vast world, I am the same. Patatyangar varshechu vati va malayanile. That's from the Yoga Vasishtha. If burning embers were to shower, burning fire, charcoals or big stones, all burning hot were to shower, or great devastation were to sweep over the earth. All this is a very allegorical expression. One who is enlightened has absolutely nothing to be affected by. Simpler illustration, the sky is not affected by all the clouds. Clouds may create a terrible situation, as if pralaya has come, clouds have gathered to send the earth to Netherlands. But the sky remains just the same. The sky doesn't shout at those clouds. Neither it says, come, come, nor it says, go, go. Because it has nothing to do with the cloud. And yet clouds are placed in the sky in perfect precision. This leads to the saying, scriptural saying, ahara shuddhau sattva shuddhi. Senses bring you perceptions. That's the food for the senses. That food impacts on your mind. So ahara shuddhau, if senses are bringing in sattvic perceptions, that choice is in every individual. By exercising your intellect, you can create a preference You have two choices: go into a crowd of drunken people or go into the nature where there is totally a different scene. And you exercise your choice. As your food becomes, the intake of the senses becomes sattvic, your mind becomes clearer and clearer. That's called sattva shuddhi. Sattva shuddhau dhruva smriti. As clarity develops in your mind, your understanding of yourself, because of all things that you reflect upon and try to remember, the nucleus of all is the soul. Therefore, the goal of your memory project is to have this recollection: I am that. I am not the body, not the mind, not the intellect. I am not confined to the world of time and space. I am Satchidananda. That's called Dhruva Smriti. That type of recollection is unalterable. Otherwise, you go on remembering certain things, but then they become little in course of time. Things were very important. Once you lost your key, now your head is completely in a state of stress. Suddenly you remember it and it resolved. But this is just a tiny little wave in the process of your forgetting and remembering. Once you have remembered who am I, there is nothing more to remember. No more losing the keys. I'm making a joke out. That's called Dhruva Smriti. Dhruva Smritau Sarva Granthi Nam Vipramoksha. When you have that infallible recollection, then all the three knots, the soul is in bondage due to three knots. First is called mala, malos, anger, greed, hate, etc. With the help of malas, the soul is bonded with your physical body. That's called granthi, knotted. The next type of knot, soul is knotted to your emotions, desires, expectations. Kama granthi. Soul is bonded with your subtle body. And similarly, the soul is bonded and fettered to your causal body, known as avidya, which consists of ignorance, more popularly known as the unconscious. So you are bonded in three ways, but all these bonds are removed when you have Dhruva Smriti, a revelation, I am that. Just revelation automatically removes the bonds. The bonds are made up of threads of illusion. Yanisha sarvbhutanam tasyam jagarti sanjami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato mune. That which is night to all beings, in that the self-controlled sage wakes. But that where all beings are awake is night for the sage who has realized the self. There's a big contrast between people who are not enlightened. Contrast in relation to experiences, in relation to their feeling about themselves. So that which is night to all beings, those who are not enlightened, things that are so valued by spiritual aspirants. What are the things that are so valued? Learning the art of practicing integral yoga, how to turn action into karma yoga, how to turn your emotions into bhakti yoga, how to ascend the steps leading to dhyana meditation, practice of yamas, don'ts, don't kill, don't lie, etc. Practice of ahimsa, niyamas, observances, positive sadhana to be done. Sadhana has do's and don'ts. Do's are called yamas. The don'ts are called yama. Do's, niyamas. Practice purity of body and mind. Practice contentment. Swadhyaya, study of scriptures. Surrender to God. All these yamas and niyamas, they become a source of inspiration. They become the reality for those who are aspiring to attain enlightenment. Things that you are after, developing divine qualities, how to control the ego, how to quiet the mind, how to bring divine love in your heart. All this that keep your mind engrossed have nothing to do with people who are engrossed with how to break somebody's tooth, how to revenge on someone, how to go from place to place watching and enjoying nature or whatever, or having lots of drinks from different restaurants. All this, they are awake to these values. The masses are awake to the values of wealth, external security, politics, many things. Day by day, their mind is engrossed in, and the result is people stay close with the constantly news go on breaking right in your house. Continuous breaking of the news. And you become more and more awake. It's a wonderful day. So many things have happened today. That type of life is out, as if one has gone to deep sleep. And all this talk is just like mosquitoes buzzing around. Saintly movements, sages are awake to those divine qualities, divine wealth, and the whole pursuit of a spiritual movement leading to enlightenment. That gives the life great purpose. Masses are not awake to that. They have profound possibility. The potentiality is beyond their imagination. But they are not awake to that. They are just as if in sleep. When you begin to wake up, again, awakening has a progressive movement. No one wakes up from ignorance. No one brings a complete change all on a sudden. Movement is always progressive. Vipado naiva vipada, sampado naiva sampada. Vipad vismaranat Vishnu, sampat Narayana smriti. to the masses. There is a clear-cut definition of what is prosperity, what is adversity. When you start waking up, then you scratch your head and say, this looks like adversity. Everybody says it is adversity. But vipado naiva vipada. But simply because it appears as adversity, it is not adversity. And prosperity, again, simply because it appears. Money has increased. Accountant is giving you an authentic evaluation. But that is not real prosperity. Vipad vismaranam Vishnu. If your mind is not coming closer to God, if your mind is not turning to God, if a child has forgotten where the mother is and remembers everything else, the child is lost. Vipad vismaranam Vishnu. Forgetting God, that is adversity. So the definition of adversity and prosperity changes. So if adversity brings you closer to God, if you begin to remember God, that adversity is actually real prosperity. If prosperity has taken you away from that memory of God, remembrance of God, or your fascination for sadhana dwindles, then that is not real prosperity. And that's what we mean by saying a contrast, sleep, awake. So an aspirant comes to that awakened plane, and that awakening goes on until the climax. One who is enlightened is the awake, fully awake. But what the experience and the awareness that makes him awake, that to the masses is completely out of their range. Therefore, it is as if all that is in dark. All this reality of the sages is the night for the mass. Night and day exist in every individual. Things that you are not aware of, great qualities, great potentialities, they are as if sunk in darkness in the night. And it's your purpose in life is to conquer that darkness. Wake up from different layers of sleep. 70th verse. Apuryamanamachala pratishtham samudramapah parvishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam parvishanti sarve sashanti mapnoti na kama kami. Just as waters from different rivers enter the ocean from all directions, and yet the ocean remains immovable. In the same way, he in whom all desires enter without affecting him, he alone attains peace, but not he who is the desirer of sense objects. Illustration is being given to enable you to have clear understanding of ocean-like consciousness of a sage. Sage experiences, I am Brahman. I am ocean of consciousness. What are the characteristics of that type of experience? Characteristics are, look at what happens. Rivers, streams, all flow towards the ocean. And the ocean remains the same. This is allegorical. There is no rejoicing on the part of the ocean that so many have come in. And on the basis of rivers coming in ocean doesn't swell up. Why? Because when a river has brought all its water into the ocean, it hasn't brought anything different. Ocean is already full of water. So whatever the river has brought has not made any difference. Not even one hair of the ocean has been touched by it. If your mind becomes more and more engrossed with the understanding, I am Brahman, I am a ray of God, then various experiences that come to you through your senses, they are like rivers coming. They do not agitate you. They do not shake you in any way, even in the smallest way. You remain unshaken because nothing new has come in. But when you are living a life defined by your desires, then everything makes a difference. Something happens, there is a spark of joy that your project is going to be fulfilled, and this makes your day. Something happens little in the morning. You'll say, it has made my day. Ocean receives all those big rivers. Doesn't say it made the day. This doesn't mean that in practical life you shouldn't be happy, etc. Must realize you are moving. In early stages, everyone like a child. Child has to walk on four, has to stagger, has to learn. We are not scolding a child for that, but encouraging everyone not to become too aware of your defects, but bring your mind close to affirmation. I am, even though I'm staggering, walking on four, but I'm going to grow up. The real me is a grown-up one. This must be the guideline. Two important points. Those who are dependent upon the world, they are called Vishayasakt, attached to the enjoyments that come to you through your mind and senses, enjoyments of objects. As long as you are dependent upon the world for your happiness, you will be just hopping around. Your happiness is a happiness. You will not be really happy. That's a simple rationality. But when you are fully rooted in that understanding, the creation, all that you experience through your mind, through your senses, all that is appearance. Think of your dream. In your dream, you are experiencing your body, the world around you, friends and relatives, enemies, bitter and sweet conditions. All experiences are so real in you as long as you are dreaming. But when you wake up, all are turned into just appearance, a mirage. Your mind must turn this whole world experience into a mirage type of perception or into a form of dream. It is a world of dream, long dream. Nothing is permanent. Adversity, no matter how intense it may be, it has not stripped you of all your potentiality. And prosperity, no matter how great it is, it has not made you secure. This point, therefore, must be remembered. So your adversity should not fool you. Your prosperity should not fool you. When you get out of these fooleries, you are full. Purnavada. Vihaya kamanyah sarvan pumanscharati nispriha nirmamo nirahamkara sa shanti madhigacchati. Having abandoned all desires, he who moves without the feeling of mindness, without egoism, and without craving, attains supreme peace. Certain points are being highlighted so that you understand how to attain that state, sthita prajna, the state of enlightenment. Three great points. Vihaya kamana, all kamanas, vasanas, desires, subtle desires, they must move away from you. You must live your life with that goal of vasana akshaya. In order to bring about removal of subtle desires, the process is first to create positive vasana. Ashubha vasana should be replaced by shubha vasana. Impressions that you have gathered on the basis of anger, hate, and lots of agitation of your mind, those impressions, when they begin to germinate, they are called ashubha vasana. On the other hand, when you create impressions of satsanga, meditation, prayer, how you find yourself peaceful even in the midst of adversity, a different type of samskaras are set up in your unconscious. They are shubha vasana. So first, vasanas, in the realm of vasana, ashubha, the negative should be turned into positive. And shubha vasanas automatically bring about revelation of the self. Just like look at a cloud. Ashubha vasana means dark cloud. Shubha vasana means cloud is allowing itself to become silvery. As the cloud becomes silvery, the darkness moves away. But then even the silvery cloud dissolves. That's automatically, it is no more your effort. That's called vasana akshaya. Then there are three words are used. Nispriha. Spriha term means a subtle desire to stay on in this world. Love for life, not the eternal life, but to live on. Rajiva terms it avinivesh klesha. Desire to live on. And therefore, you are haunted by fear of death. That is spriha. This longing needs to be cut down in your spiritual project by your constant affirmation. You are not confined to the body. Just like electricity is not confined to a bulb. Energy that operates through your cell phones is not confined to the cell phones. You break the bulb, you have not broken the electricity. Therefore, constantly keeping the mind harassed by, I'm going to die, what will happen if I die, and so forth, that must be eliminated if you are becoming wise. Rather, your mind has only one idea: how to come closer and closer, how to have closeness with God, how to enjoy constant remembrance, and how to allow the mind to be soaked in divine grace. Next one, nirmama, feeling of mindness. This is mine, how wonderful it is. Nothing in the world is yours as long as you think you as an individual person. Nothing belongs to any individual. It's not something difficult point to understand. Everyone sees it. People work so hard to have precious ornaments. They live through their life constantly looking at it, constantly showing to others, and that they kick the bucket. Those very ornaments are still there. This mamata, how much mamata created out of those stones, inert objects. How much suffering entered the mind. People who saw this, who didn't have, they developed jealousy. How fortunate they are, wonderful neck. In my neck, nothing. Just a mala. So much mental torture develops on the basis of things that have no meaning at all. Because of mamata. It's just like the sky, forgetting itself, who am I, goes after a cloud. Don't leave me, don't leave me. But again, cutting down mamata is a progressive movement. Again and again we have to remind it's God's, not mine. All things belong to the divine. Until you reach another level, all things are Brahman. Another, at the highest level, nirahamkar, the very aham in you, the sense of ego, is eliminated. Who am I? Not this ego. This ego has been a stranger. Each time we go to enjoy deep sleep, you put your ego out, just like sandals are put out in the house. Imagine letting your sandals rule your day. Until you have a time to put the sandals out and go to sleep. A profound understanding regarding the ego awareness. Ego is not the I am. Distance yourself from your ego. and become more and more sustained by the absolute self, the I am. These are the methods of attaining supreme peace. Nispriha, becoming free of the fear of death. Nirmama, nothing belongs to me. Nirahamkar, ego is not me. Esha Brahmi sthiti partha nainam prapya vimuhyati sthitva syamanta kalepi brahma nirvana mricchati. O Arjuna, such is the state of self-realization. Brahmi sthiti. Having attained it, a yogi is never deluded. Being established in this state, even at the last moment of death, if you attain this even at the last moment of death, he attains this absolute state of liberation. What is being pointed out, that when the project has been given to you, and then your mind says, oh, why didn't I get this project earlier? I'm already in 80 and only few more years left. Gita says, still you have enough time. Even a few seconds before death, if your mind cleared up about who am I, you would be liberated. So it is not a matter of time involvement. Worldly projects, they depend upon your age, your time. Spiritual project depends upon your heart, your love, your inward awareness. So even established in this state, at the last moment, he attains absolute state of liberation. The term is used, Brahma Nirvana. He attains Brahman, implying he attains all that is. He gives you a sense of all-encompassing attainment. Your desires give you a picture of how many things you have to gain. Brahman term itself means big, so big he contains everything. But next word gives you another aspect of liberation, nirvana. All your desires have become like a flame of craving that has haunted you from life to life, and it is blown out. Absolute neti neti. And with this, second chapter of the Gita ends. Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Supanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Sankhya Yoge Nama Vitiyodhyayaha. The second chapter of the Gita, known as Sankhya Yoga, concludes in this great Upanishad of the Bhagavad Gita, which deals with Brahma Vidya, knowledge of Brahman, and Yoga Shastra, not just knowledge, but how to bring that knowledge into experience in the form of Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvada, God talking to the soul. Thus we conclude the second chapter, and it's always a tradition that you recite one verse from the next chapter. Arjuna uvacha jyayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhirjanardana tat kim karmani ghore mam niyojayasi keshava. O Keshava, O Janardana, O Krishna, if developing that prajna buddhi is the goal, then why are you asking me to get into this terrible battle? And with this, we'll conclude.